Hey, Scott Austin here from Jade Puma. In this video, I'm going to be showing how to add a product. In this case, I'm going to add a nutrient to the Aceva website. So just use an example here. Here's omega-3 plus. We're going to add a new nutrient to this list. And when we click on it, there'll be a product that shows up. And we're going to have to add the main product, the retail product, which will be bottles, and then we'll also add a wholesale product, which will be bottles and a case, and then we'll set up the pricing and all that good stuff. So there's going to be some detail here because there's some complexity in the Aceva site. So I'm going to walk through this step by step on how to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Shopify admin for Aceva, and I'm going to go to products, and I'm going to create a new product. I'm just going to add a product, and I'm just going to call this example nutrients. And I'm going to add an image, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick an image off of the website. So I'm just going to click and say copy image address, and go back in here and say upload image, and I'm going to put in that URL just so we have an image sitting there. It just looks better to see the site actually with an image showing up the way it would. So here we have added our product called example nutrient. There is an image there. For this test scenario, I'm just going to have it available on the website, not the other channels, although I don't think most of these channels are in use. But I'm just going to take them off of there just in case. And what we're going to do for product type, if you pull down the list here, you're going to see the full list of them all. Nutrients retail is the one we're going to want for this, and obviously the wholesale product we'll put in the nutrients wholesale. So the nutrients retail collection is driven by the product type being set here. And we're going to set up the vendor to be Aceva, which all of the products are. And an interesting thing here is we add different tags to this product. You're going to see collections being automatically filled in. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to put in a price right now of $50 for the product. And let's just give it a SKU of test. And let's also say that we're not going to track inventory on this product. And I'm going to put it up for a weight of about 0.2 pounds. Sounds about right for a bottle of pills here. I'm going to hit save. And those things will set up. There we go. And we still now, so we can see we're automatically at every product, every new product put into the all products and bestsellers collections. And to be technical, the bestsellers collection is any product with a price greater than 0. But now what I'm going to do, I've got 2 screens. I'm only showing you one of my screens, but I have a dual monitor set up on my computer. So I've got this other screen over here, which I'm showing you what I'm looking at right now on that screen by dragging that window over. I'm actually looking at an existing product side by side, right? So on one screen, I'm looking at the omega-3 plus product, just using that as an example because of the complexity of what we're doing here. It's nice to have a product side by side to see what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do for my retail test product is I'm going to add some tags to it. The first tag I'm going to add is nutrients and general nutrients. And let me show you a couple things while I'm doing that. So let's go into this product now. If I go under the list of nutrients, this should show up. I have a nice fast connection, it looks like here. All right, we called it what I think it was example. Yeah, example nutrient. There's the price, $50. If I go into that product page, you'll see there's no tabs here, right? And so the first thing I need to do is go back to my product and select the template called product.aceva. I save that. And then if I go back to here and I refresh on the front end, tabs start showing up, right? So that we have to set the template properly for that to happen. And then the next thing I'm going to do, back on the back end of the product, I'm going to start adding some tags, right? So the first tag I'm going to add here, I already added the nutrients one. I'm going to add show seals. And what the show seals tag does, save that, is on the front end for your consumers, we've got those three little icons that show up, and they show up here for products that are tagged show seals. So if I want those to show up for the products, then I put them in there. Some other tags I'm going to add is, let me show you back here on the nutrients list. When we show the whole collection of nutrients, there's some filters that are going to show up over on the left-hand side here. All of these. So these are just tags. So let's assume for a second that our test or example nutrient is a joint and bone support product. So if I click on joint and bone support right now, the products that will show up, what it's looking at is the nutrient collection filtered by joint and bone support. And I don't know if that link is working. My computer's pretty crappy these days. There's something wrong with it, actually. I gotta figure out. Now I'm talking to myself. So if I go to collections nutrients, click on joint and bone support. None of those are working for me at the moment. I'm not sure why. But this list here, they were working for me a minute ago, so I'm doing something here. But whatever we want for those filters for the product to show up. So here I'm going to put joint, right? Joint and bone support. So now that collection, when we filter by joint and bone support, will show our example nutrient product in there. A couple other things I'm looking at here. I'm just going to put in, I think that's it for tags for the minute. We're going to come back and do more tags later when it makes logical sense to do them. So the next thing for setting up a product is we have here in my Chrome browser up top here, I have this little Chrome add-in called, I think it's Shopify FD, load Shopify FD. If I click on that, notice in this section right here, the first thing that shows up is product availability. When I click on this Chrome plugin, it loads Shopify FD. Now my product availability has moved down the screen, and this new meta fields section has loaded onto the page. So here's how I can load, create, and edit meta fields. Right now, this product has no meta fields. What I'm doing now is I'm on my second screen, and I'm loading up the same thing for my example omega-3 plus product, and I'm seeing what meta fields I need to put in there. And before I do that, what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to put placeholder. We're going to do this a lot. We're just going to put the term placeholder, and this is product description, because I want you to see product description. I want you to see where this text shows up on the page. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back to my example product, example nutrients. Look at that product page, and you'll see the text that I put in for example or a placeholder product description. That shows up under the description tab. Okay. So we're going to start adding meta fields that add more content to the page. A lot of the tabs, you'll notice there's only 3 tabs showing right now. By the time we're done, all the tabs will be showing. And we're also going to get some content up here, and that's all done through this meta field system that we're doing here. So I'm going to refresh this page. This meta fields app, even though it's loaded right now, it's now disappeared, which happens often. I know it's still loaded because this little toggle thing up here is from that same element, this thing up here. But what I'm going to, so I know if I click this link again right now, it's going to give me an error message saying it's already loaded, right? There's my error message down there. So what I do in that case is I just refresh the whole page by holding down the shift button and then hitting the refresh button on my Chrome browser, refresh the whole page, and then I load my Shopify FD again. It's kind of clunky, but that's how this tool works. And this is not a Shopify tool. It's a tool made by a developer in Australia who was nice enough to share it with the community, so we can't complain too much about it. So I'm going to load that up again. There's my meta fields, and I'm going over on my other screen and loading up the meta fields also, and I'm looking at them, and the first meta field that I see that's relevant here, the meta fields are all under this bucket of what's called product data. And what that is this namespace, right? So I'm going to type in I'm creating a new meta field here, product underscore data, and the key is research. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to put in a placeholder research. And if I could spell that properly, that'd be good. I'm going to save that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the front end. And notice there's no research tab here yet. But if I refresh my page, a research tab is going to show up because it now found the meta field for research. And the content that's in there is that placeholder research. So in that meta field, we can put as much information as we want in there. And you know on some of these tabs that it gets really long, that all gets put into the meta field. So that's the first meta field we just added. I'm going back and looking at the example product on my other screen. The next meta field I'm going to do is product data, product underscore data. All the ones we're going to do, I think all of them are going to be product underscore data, and then the key is different between them. This one we're going to call short description. And the spelling of these is absolutely important. In this, the value here, I can misspell that. It's not a big deal, but in the meta field key there, that's important that we spell that properly. This one I'm just going to put, placeholder, short description. There we go. Save that. And in these values that we're putting in here, we can put in HTML, as you've probably seen in the other meta fields we've done. We can put in H1 tags or H3 tags, and I'll actually show you one of those here in a second on the next one we do. So now if I refresh my page on the front end that consumers see, we'll see that the placeholder short description now shows up here. So remember, the main product description shows up under the tab, but up here, there's the place for the short description. Back to my back end, I'm going to add a new meta field. The next meta field is suggested use. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put product data suggested use. And for the value, I'm actually going to put an H tag. Let's put an H3 and call it heading, and then close that out. And then we're going to put in a P for paragraph and call that placeholder suggested use. All right. So now if I go back to my front end that consumers see, you'll notice I don't have a suggested use tab. If I refresh my page, if I type the name in properly, suggested use should show up as a tab, and there it is. And there's my H3 heading and my paragraph placeholder suggested use. Okay, back to the back end. And what I'm going to do next is supplemental facts. So we're going to put in product data, supplemental facts, and I'm actually going to pull a copy from this example I'm looking at on the omega-3 one right now, and I'm just going to drop that in there because this is a highly structured or formatted table. So I'm going to save that and go back to the front end. and refresh that, and we should see our tabs show up for supplemental facts. And you can see there's a table there that we can edit that with the actual information for this product. I just copied it from another one. Let's see if we have any more meta fields to add. Oh yeah, next one is going to be product data wholesale version. So I'm going to go back to the back end and put in a new meta field, product data wholesale version. So this one is used when someone has a wholesale account and they navigate to the retail version of the product. We redirect them automatically. We say, oh wait, they're wholesale. Let's take them to the wholesale version of this product. So we have to put in here is what is the wholesale product's what's called handle. And I'll explain a handle here in a second. So I have not created yet the wholesale product for this example nutrient product, but I'm going to in a second. The handle is this up here. It's the last part of the URL, right? And I know the convention I've been using for every product on the site is I'm going to take whatever the product name is, in this case, example nutrient, the product handle, and I'm going to add a dash wholesale to that. So here, I'm going to put in a dash wholesale. And I'm going to save that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here, copy this, and if you guys hear some little noises going on, I'm actually in my studio with 3 little chihuahuas today, and one of them is actually asleep and snoring, and I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but you hear some strange little grumblings. It's my little chihuahuas snoring while they're napping here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in to this store on the front end with a wholesale account. And then I'm going to come back to this page. You're going to see an error pop up. So I'm going to log in. This account, yeah, is a wholesale account. I'm going to get that little gray bar. You're a wholesale platinum account. I'm going to put that URL back in for the example nutrient product. Because it's going to redirect us to the wholesale version, but it can't find it yet. So you saw that redirect happening. That happened because the meta field that we just put in, for example, nutrient wholesale, which you can see up here, it's looking for this handle, right? We tried to put us to products, example nutrients wholesale, but that product doesn't exist yet. But we're going to make that product in a minute, and we're going to put this handle down for it, so it'll all work in that case. Just wanted you to see how that meta field gets used. All right, so I'm looking back in my example Omega that I'm looking at, and that's all the meta fields that I need to add, all the product data ones that are from that product. So we should be okay right now. I don't think there's anything else we need to add to this. We're going to come back to this. We're not done with this product, but we're done for the moment. So it's going to save that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this product and I'm going to duplicate it. So I'm going to hit the duplicate button right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in space dash space wholesale. And I'm going to duplicate. Now, Shopify automatically, when you create a new product, makes a handle for that product based on the product name or the product title. So if we look down at the bottom where it says search engine listing preview, if we hover over, or not hover over, but click on the edit website SEO, that's where you can see, here's what the handle looks like. Example dash nutrient dash wholesale. It takes out the spaces and gets rid of the capitalization and does, it keeps some punctuation but gets rid of some punctuation if there is any in the product title. But it comes up with this handle, and you notice this handle is the same as the one we were trying to use a minute ago on the redirect. So now if I go back to my front end and products / example dash nutrient dash wholesale, if I hit refresh now, I'm not going to get a page not found. I should get that product to show up. Because now, so we're redirecting to the wholesale version of this product, and the new new product that we just created should come up, and we're in some sort of loop right now, which we need to fix. So the loop that we're in, that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that actually happen before. But the loop that we're in is the product that we just created has meta fields, right? It has the meta fields from the retail version of the product. So now on the wholesale version of the product, we have to get rid of the product data wholesale version, because what's happening is we're coming to this page and saying, oh, redirect to the wholesale version, but it's already, so it's this infinite loop going on. So all we have to do for the wholesale version of the product is not use the wholesale version meta field. So I'm going to delete that. Save that. And now if I go back to my page on the infinite loop, notice it already stopped the infinite loop, right? So it found that product. Now it's not trying to, the wholesale page is not trying to redirect to the wholesale page again. That's why we're in that infinite loop. We got rid of that meta field. That infinite loop is now stopped. But if I go back to my, remember I'm logged in right now as a wholesaler. If I go back to the retail version of the product, if I just get rid of that dash wholesale in the handle, right, hit return, it's going to take me to that retail version of the product and now redirect me to the wholesale version. So that is working, okay? Now the other thing with the wholesale is we've got the bottle, right, as one of the variants, and now we have to add the case. So what we're going to do is we're going down the bottom here where it says add variant, and we are going to add a variant called package, and the first option value for that will be bottle, and then the second will be case, and the normal convention we do is we put in brackets the number of bottles in the case. And you'll notice it's doing some things with the SKUs, right? So what we want to do here is we want to keep the original test SKU for the bottle, and for the case one, we just want to put in case or whatever convention you're going to use for them. So let's save that. Now the pricing for the case is normally, if I remember correctly, the case is 10.08 times, which is like 11/12 or something like that, the price of the bottle. So I'm just going to put in the case price of 504. Okay. So now, if we go back to our wholesale example nutrient products, and I hit refresh on the front end for your wholesale customers view, what we're going to see is the variant show up for bottle and case. So bottle, $50, case, $504. So that's working properly. We've got all our tabs, which were copied over from the existing product. Now the FAQ tab we didn't do because there was no FAQ tab example in the one I was using, but let me show you how that works. I gotta find I just do an example one. So the way the FAQ tab works is if we add a meta field, let's go in here. Oh, we gotta refresh that page. When I get that error loading Shopify FD, I just have to refresh the product page in the admin, and then reload my Shopify FD Chrome plugin. So now we're going to add a new meta field, which is product data. And I think it's called FAQ, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this other screen that I've been looking at. In this product, right, it doesn't have an FAQ meta field listed. So I'm not sure, don't exactly remember what the meta field is for FAQ. I think it's just FAQ, but I'm just going to go to 5HTTP and see if it exists there. Notice I'm getting that error again, so I'm just going to refresh this page and then load in my Shopify FD again to get my wholesale or my meta fields listed here. So now there's no FAQ one here. Okay. So we're going to go to our next product on the list. We're going to have to probably go through a couple of these to find one. that has an FAQ listing. And so we got to do this refresh thing every time. All right, this is taking a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the front end and find a product that has an FAQ listed, and then we'll look at it on the back end. So let's just look at Candiva, if that's how we pronounce that. And if we look at FAQs, so it's got an FAQ listed there, right? So what we're going to do on the back end is go into Candiva and Candiva wholesale, that was. Candiva, oops, passed it, wholesale. So I go into that product. I'm going to have to refresh that page and load that up again. And if I look at the meta fields now, FAQ term, okay, good thing I looked that up then. So FAQ underscore term. So I'm going to get that, put that window back on my other screen and go back here. And so I got to do FAQ underscore term. And what this is for Zendesk, this is the value that we have to put in there. So this one happened to have, one I was just looking at, that's the example one for the FAQ term. Its FAQ term was Candiva. So I'm just going to put that in here. And what you'll see, if we go back to the front end again, the FAQ, right? So this is no FAQ, it's just product this time because there was no term put in. Now if we put in a term and that term actually has in Zendesk information, I believe it's Zendesk you guys are using. If not, apologies. No, that didn't work. Just checking to see what I might have done wrong here. Oh, it didn't save it. Okay. The way this meta field box works is there's a save button here, and I have to use that save button. But sometimes the product page will show a save button up here, and sometimes I hit that save button instead of this save button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in product data, FAQ term, and see how this up top here, the save button shows up. This save button doesn't save the meta fields. You got to use the save button in the meta field box. Or I have to use the save button in the meta field box. Then I'm going to save it. And now if I go back to the front end and hit refresh, and look on FAQs, there we go. There's the information we're looking for. So it's pulling in the data from Zendesk. Okay, so we now have a retail version of the product, so I'm just going to log out. So now I'm a retail customer. We have a retail version of the product, and we have a wholesale version of the product. And they're working, right? So they show up inside of the nutrients collection because they were tagged as product type equal to nutrients. So if I look down, there's example here, example nutrient, right? And all the information is working. Now the last thing we need for the front end experience is we have a list of all of our nutrients here. So we've got to add this product to that list. And they're all done alphabetically right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the back end, the admin, under online store, and I'm going to go to navigation. And what we've got here is there's a main nav for franchise customers, there's a main nav for retail, there's a main nav for wholesale. But where the drop downs are, so if you look at like if you just went into main nav retail, you can see nutrients listed there. When we open up the navigation menu and then look at the sub menu items, what you'll see is it just says placeholder, right? So where all the drop downs, these drop downs come from, right? That content right here, all these different product listed, that comes from the navigation menu called main menu dropdowns. So that's the one I want to go into, main menu dropdowns. And you can see here's nutrients. If I expand nutrients, there they all are listed. So what I'm going to do is I expand the nutrients and scroll down to the bottom of that expanded list to where it says add menu item to nutrients. I'm going to click on that. And the place I'm going to start is on the link, right? And I'm going to bring up products, and I'm going to look for the example product that I just added. And we're looking for the retail version because we'll automatically redirect into the wholesale if appropriate. So we're looking for example nutrients, not the wholesale, but the normal retail one. And it automatically takes that product title and puts it in the name of the menu item. You can change that if you want to. They're all, I think, kept the same today. So, and then to drag it, if you want it alphabetical, the way you do is you take this little 6. You notice when I hover over those 6 little dots, my cursor changes to a hand. That means I can click and drag. So click and drag. We're not all the way up the list yet. And it goes right after D. There's example nutrient, and I'm going to hit the save button. So then on the front end, once that's done saving, if I refresh this page, right, if I haven't refreshed it yet, so there's my daily balance, DHE, FEM support, so there's no example in there yet. I'm going to refresh the page. Nutrients, and there's example nutrient listed right there. So we've added that to the menu. If I click on it, it'll take me to the example nutrient product. And then you'll notice if I log in with my wholesale account, do that there, and I do the same thing. I go to nutrients, example nutrient. It's going to redirect me to the wholesale version of that product, and I can see it with bottles and cases. So that's how we get it to work in the nav menu for retail and for wholesale. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to delete that because we don't want that there anymore, right? We're going to delete this whole product when we're done here. I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to take this out of the nav menu. So if I was to right now turn off the products here inside of the product section of the admin, that would not remove the navigation link. So I have to do that separately. So I'm just going to delete the nav link. For example, nutrient, remove. And now if we look at our front end and refresh it, the nav link here should have been gone. Let's try that again. All right, that didn't work. What did I do wrong here? Did I not save it? Okay, let's try that now. And it is now gone. Okay. So we have the products. It's working for retail. It's working for wholesale with just basic pricing. Now what we have to do is add in our wholesale pricing. So first thing I'm just going to do is log out for a minute. And the way we do this is we now, in the admin under apps, go to the apps section, we click on the app for pricing, which I believe is called customer pricing. We'll see the list come up here in a second. It's a bold, custom pricing, wholesale and quantity breaks. Just checking the other bold ones there. Yep, that's the one we want right here. I'm gonna not even view the two. We're going to go right into that. And now what we're going to do, when that comes up, we're going to do the detailed pricing section here. So over here, we're going to click on Manage. Now the two products I just added are under Example, right? So I'm just going to type in Example. And you'll see, oh, there we are. Example nutrient and example nutrient wholesale. I'm just going to click on example nutrient. I was having problems with this earlier today too, where it's hard to get into the product sometimes. See if I can just find it in this list maybe. All right, there we go. Example nutrient. So you'll see here we have 3 example nutrient rows, right? Because there's 3 different example nutrient variants. The first one is the example nutrient retail product. The second one is the example nutrient wholesale product with the variant of bottle. And the third one is example nutrient wholesale product with the variant of case. Now what we're going to do for these examples is we're going to change the pricing to be set fixed priced. So we're manually going to define, which is what we're doing for most of our products, we're manually going to define what the different wholesale prices are. Now for the example nutrient, and I know this because I've done it already, it's hard to see here, but for the columns here are franchise platinum, franchise gold, wholesale platinum, wholesale gold. There's a scroll bar at the bottom, and then it's going to show the professional and the Aceva employee. So it really would be beneficial if I could get this just to show the example ones. Let's try it. But put in the phrase example nutrients. Yeah, I don't know why it's not filtering there. Maybe because these terms are too broad. So it's just going to be a little bit kludgy here. But we're going to do it anyways. So the example nutrient wholesale. So change the price to be set fixed price. And what we're going to do is the 2 wholesale products, right? I'm just going to put in some random pricing, 40, 30, and you guys know the math for this. You can put in the right ones on your actual products. But this is just to illustrate the point. So here we're going to put in 400, 300, 400, 300. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. You'll see the horizontal scroll bar. So there we go. Scroll over. And this is really wacky, right? Because I can't see the left column anymore. So I'm going to have to scroll up and kind of guess where I was, which is not desirable at all. There we go. And I know that this product up here is the retail one, and I need the professional pricing and the Aceva employee pricing. So I put those in. And now what I'm going to do is I put those prices in, I'm going to save detailed pricing. Now, so I'm going to click on that button up top there. And it's going to do its stuff for a moment. And you can see it's queued them up to do them. I think if we can refresh this page, we'll see those as they get done. But it does take a moment for pricing to get updated by this app. Refreshing the whole page. Yeah, you can see it's running. So we'll see what happens there. Now, if I go to the front end and click on my, oh, I don't have the example nutrient anymore in the nav. I took it out. So it's still in the collection list. We'll just navigate to it that way. Go down to example nutrients. There it is. Click on that. And you'll notice that I'm doing this in the live site. Right now it's actually Sunday, which is a low traffic day on your site. So your customers actually could see these products at the moment. But it's usually just easiest to do it that way. You can do these things in preview and offline. It's more complex to see the cause and effect. So I like to pick a low traffic time and just do it on the live site, even if we were to set it up. And then you can turn it off if it's not ready to go live yet. But I would have it live while you're looking at it, setting up and seeing how customers are going to see how it works. And then at the end, I'll show you how we actually turn this product off in the store without deleting it. So here we are. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in with my wholesale account again. And what we should see, if the price changes have gone through, is we should see the price, the wholesale price, start to show up here. All right, we're going down to our example product right there. It's going to redirect us to the wholesale version. There we go. And you'll notice there's my wholesale price of $40, retail of $50. So the pricing changes have already started going through. So we're about done. I know we've got a couple more things to do here now that I think about it. And let me see if I can show you what the next thing we're going to do is for. Right now, I'm logged in as a wholesale account. I'm going to the nutrients catalog. So it should show me all of just the wholesale nutrients. So I shouldn't see the retail version of each one of these nutrients SKUs. Wholesale, 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 right? But if we go down to the example one, there's example nutrient and example nutrient wholesale. So the example nutrient is still showing up inside of the wholesale collection. So there's one last thing we need to do. And here I'm back on the back end for example nutrient wholesale. And what we have to do is we have to add some tags into the tags, right? And the nice thing is the tags are all saved, so I can view all tags and see the list of them all, right? So it's easy to find the ones you're looking for and just click on them. The ones we're looking for, they're the ones we use most often, so they show up at the top of this list, which is really nice. So what these are is you hide this product for these types of customers, right? So here we are in the example nutrient wholesale, right? The types of customers that we have in our customer pricing in the Bold app, right? The types of customers we have that should not see the wholesale product are your Aceva employees and your professionals. And then, so that's for the wholesale product. And then what we're going to do also is we're going to go back to the retail product. Example nutrient, retail product. I'm not worried about the Shopify FD. We're not using that right now. And here for the retail product, your different wholesale accounts, right? Your franchise, wholesale shouldn't be able to see these products. So it's the tags are wholesale gold hide, wholesale platinum hide, franchise platinum hide, franchise gold hide. And what that does, save that. If we go back now, remember I'm logged in as a wholesale customer. I'm on the wholesale list of nutrients. It's actually the same list of nutrients for wholesale and retail. It's just what products we're showing. And here, right, we still see the example nutrient showing up and the example nutrient wholesale. But now that I'm going to refresh the page, what should happen is the example nutrient should go away because we're hiding it from wholesale customers. All right, so we're looking for the E's, example nutrient wholesale, and you'll notice the example nutrient retail product is now gone from this list because we're hiding it from wholesale customers. So that's working the way it should be. So what we've done is we've added 2 new products, set up the right tags and prices and all that for them. And then we went into the nav, added it to the nav. And then we went into the pricing in the Bold app, Bold custom pricing app, set up the pricing for it for the different wholesale tiers and the different logged in states. And then we added a couple more tags to those products to get it to show and not show to different customer states. So that's how you add a new product to Aceva. Now that is obviously quite complex because we're actually doing a lot in this store. There's a lot going on, but those are the steps we go through to make that all happen. So thanks for watching, and of course if there's any questions, feel free to let me know. Thanks a lot.